Hi, this is Matt Philleo here in the studio, continuing to work on the Loaves and Fishes painting. It's getting more than halfway done. In fact, it's probably on the last stretch, maybe even a few hours from completion. So I want to invite you today, and I'm going to show you some acrylic techniques, how you can add luminosity to your paintings. So let's switch to the other camera. And so here we have it. This is a 16 by 20 acrylic on canvas. If you've been following along in this video series, you know that I ended up taking my own pictures for this painting. And so I actually went to the store and bought my own tilapia fish and flatbread and put it all together in a basket and took this photo just as the sun was setting. So we really are coming along with this. But I want to get the contrast heightened in a few areas and get a few more highlights as well to really make the fish pop out and give it a luminosity and a depth. And this is a book cover illustration for an author that does commentary on the Gospel Book of Mark. And so I really want to make this nice and make it something that's rewarding for the reader to look at. So again, if you look at the photo and compare, it has a little more contrast, and I still want to deepen some areas. I'm going to go into the background, and I'm going to add a nice glaze to really make the whites and highlights pop out. And so what I'll do is take some phthalo blue, and we'll take a little bit of medium, thin that out, and take some yellow ochre, and then just begin to thin that out really nice. What I want to do is go over the background and darken this whole area here. Oops. Just wipe it away if you make a mistake. There's no worries with this. Try to cut it along the edges tight as I can. Take it in above the handle here. Now I need to make sure I thin that out. Just a little bit, mix it with a little bit of brown and maybe a little more medium. I just use a clear acrylic matte medium, and I just thin it out with that, and there we go. With this technique, you can just keep applying layer after layer, and it's really nice. It's very forgiving. And it's a great way to add a luminosity and a depth to your paintings. All right. I'm going to darken in this area as well on the side. Add some contrast between the cloth and the background. We're just suggesting that there's some grass and different things growing in here. Yeah, let's add a little bit as well. The rocky areas. Taking a little bit of burnt umber and thinning it out a little bit. I'm going to add it to the background, darken this area. Let's cut that in really nice and tight above the basket just to get us a good defined edge. just again cut it in really tight up here as well. And I blend it out just using a finger blending technique. Just kind of lift some of the pigment away. Now down here, I want to get a little color differentiation. So I'm going to take that raw or dark, mix it with a little bit of yellow ochre, and we'll just kind of scrub this in. It does beat your brushes up quite a bit. It works nice to get it really into the canvas grooves. And then after you get it in there, you can smooth it out. And I'll go over and I'll add some highlights on the top of it. For now, I just want to get that a little bit darker. And let's add some variety to this side. A little bit of texture. All I'm trying to do is make the basket stand out a little more by darkening the background. Give it a little more contrast. And there we go. Let's see, let's add a little bit to the top and make that more interesting too. Just thin it out a little bit. Kind of blend it out, leave some lighter areas in the top. Using brush strokes in many different directions to give it some visual variety. All right, that's nice. Now, let's take some of the same color we have here and see how it'll work in darkening the bread a little more. I'm just going to go over the whole thing and darken it as a whole. By doing that, then again, I'll make the fish to stand out a little more, because lights can't really look light unless they have darkness to set them off appropriately. And that's kind of like life too, you know, unless you go through difficulties and trials sometimes, you won't appreciate the blessings. Gotta have some darkness to appreciate the light. Let's lift this up just a little bit. Excuse me, just a little bit over here, because I want this to stand out a little more. I notice in the photo that that section of the bread is a little lighter. I want to preserve that. Okay, Well, maybe I can darken this portion of the bread a little bit as well. And even this portion and this portion. Just slowly adding a lot of interesting nuances and different things. Let's say maybe I'll add a little bit of ultramarine blue and black. I'll darken a few areas in here under the basket. Just a few different little nuances. All right. And I'm going to stop here in this particular video, but I hope that really helped you to see the process and how we can accomplish some shading and layering with acrylic. And I might go back in and show you some of the highlight process as well. But hope you enjoyed this video. If you found it valuable, you can go to mattphilleo.com and subscribe to my art updates and instruction, and you can get some art tips sent right to your inbox. And I'd love to keep in touch with you and show you what's going on in the studio and give you some tips to help you in your own acrylic painting. I shoot out a video usually about once a week, so keep in touch and have a blessed day and happy painting.